Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the channel. Today we're talking about a really old IM now, I think. These are like 2 years. So this is a Simgot EW100P. They were really popular like 2 years ago, I feel like. But now they're not really talked about. So I just wanted to talk about them. I bought one. So this is the box. And they're really, you know, I don't want to dox myself, but thank you for the camera. So the the box has the feel of like a silver cigarette. The outside though, the inside is just a normal box, but the outside has the cigarette box feel. So in the box you get nothing actually. You just get the IM, the cable, and the ear tips. That's not that good. Like if you want to see what's in it, it's literally empty. If I could open it, it's just a single set of ear tips. So I think that's what you get 2 years ago. So it kind of makes sense. Nowadays, $20 IMs are really good in terms of their accessories, except zeros and zero twos. Those are just plain awful. So these are the cable for the EW100. I'm using it for the bunny because I don't like the cables on the bunny. So in terms of cable, like they're really good. They behave well, but sometimes they tangle if you're not being careful. But I really like them. They're like my second best because Gates is a thing. Gates cable are the number one, and out of the all $20 IM that I own, these are number two. These are usable. They're quite good. I really like it. Actually, every Simgot IM are has good cables. So this is the IM by itself. So it's a plastic shell with a metal plate. It has the piano plastic color, but I don't think it's scratchy than the Gates. So it's in a good shiny piano color. And these look similar to the EW200, but EW200 is a fully metal. They're really heavy. So this is like a plastic version of that. They're really light too. So in terms of comfort, these are like the second most comfortable IM that I have. Well, I think that zeros or zero two are really comfortable to my ears, but it's just that they fit to my ears. So they kind of go equal to that, but it's just that some people doesn't have the fit for the zeros, so these are better for that. So I'll give it the second best. The best one for me is the bunny. Considering the bunny is a little bit smaller, but it's like longer a little bit. These are wider, so these are the second most comfortable sets that I have for the $20 range. Now let's talk about the sound. So these are tuned in Harman 2016 Target. If you don't know what Harman is, the easiest way to explain it is a B shape that sounds good. It's not the consumer B shape kind of where it's just bass and the mids are really recessed. But in Harman case, you have your elevated bass, slightly recessed mids, and also elevated treble. Now let's talk more in detail. So the bass on these are more in the sub bass rumble. It's just that's the meta in 10 years ago. Everyone preferred their elevated sub bass, so that's all you get. And mid bass is still there, but it's the main show of the bass is the sub bass, which is quite unique in the like new $20 IMs that we have, like the zeros, zero twos. They're mid bass for more on mid bass. The one is also more on mid bass. Pretty much everything else is pretty much that's popular are more focused on the mid bass, and these are on the sub bass. So if you really want to try a sub bass focused $20 IM, then this can be good pick for that. Now for the mid, so these are B shaped tuning, like I said earlier. So the mids on these goes in the backstage, especially the vocals, but they don't sound that recessed. So if you have listened to a terrible TWS or beats where they don't have mids, these are not that. They're still there, but they take the backstage area for the sound. Now for the treble, I just listened to these again and just to make sure, and these are sibilant. So if you're sibling sensitive, then I wouldn't recommend these. But in terms of treble, they have a good detail. They can sound grainy sometimes, but it's still in a elevated, good quality way. But I just don't like Harman tuning that much. Now that I stopped explaining how these sound, I want to talk about more in Harman. In my opinion, I don't like Harman. I prefer the 2019 more because they have more energy in the upper mids. That's why I also don't like the Truth Ear zeros and zero reds. In my opinion, those are really overrated. Like in my opinion, they just sound bass. They're like beats but better. That's just how they sound to my ears. I just don't like how they sound. And this is the same for not Truth Ear, the EW100P. Like every time I try Harman, the interesting about Harman is that they really sound good on first try because I think that's how Harman did their test. Is like they evaluate, you know. I think you go to Harman and then you try the sets first time, so you just get your listen like first time on that tuning, and you would be saying like, oh, these sounds really good. But the more you listen on Harman, I just don't like it. The longer I listen, I just don't like the Harman sound. But that's just my opinion. Okay, now let's compare to a brighter sounding IM because this B shape leaning on the bright side. So yeah, I don't have B shape that much. I don't like B shape sounds, so I don't buy them. Technically, you could argue these are B shape, but no, these are more vocal. So I would call them around neutral bright than B shape because they don't have scooped up mids. I like my mids. I like being mid. So yeah. So these are my least favorite in terms of tuning. And I think I use zeros the more because these can sound synthetic. If these IM doesn't sound synthetic sometimes, then I would use these more. But I notice him subconsciously, I go for the zeros more. That's just how I prefer these, I guess. I just prefer sounding more cleaner. I might be a treble head. I'm not sure, but I don't like that sometimes these can sound synthetic. That's why they're not getting used that much. Now let's compare with zero twos, cause might as well, cause they're out. They're out. I already used them today while testing all of the other IEMs. And I would say I would rather use zero twos most of the time, cause the mids are not as recessed as these. These are more in neutral, warm. Like they're neutral, leaning on the warm. So these are more smoother to listen, easier to listen, I guess. They don't sound as harsh as these EW100, and they have better mid bass, and well, these has the better sub bass. So if you prefer sub bass, then you can get these, but you have the scooped up mids, and you can pick the 02 if you really like mid bass, and in my opinion, better tuned IEM. So in conclusion, they still have a place in the market, even though I wouldn't recommend it. I don't like the Harman sounding IEM, but these are the only IEM that I can think of that are tuned in the Harman 2016 target range. So these are really unique for that. Well, there's probably old IEM that are tuned in the Harman 2016, but I'm talking about recent ones, like 3 to 4 years, maybe 2020. So the kind of recent before the boom of the JM1 target. So they're still unique for that. And these are also great way to test if you like Harman tuned IEM for cheap, like around $20. I already said that earlier that I don't like zero reds and zero. Wait, is it zero reds? But yeah, zero red, zero blue. But yeah, if you really like the sub bass rumble on these and you don't care about mids and you want a little bit more energy on the treble and upper mids area, then you could upgrade to zero reds. More powers to you. I don't like them. Uh, but yeah, it's such a great way to, pay for cheap and test how Harman shape sounds. Okay, thank you so much for watching. This is probably gonna be my last $20 IEM review for a while. Cause there's no $20 IEM that sounds interesting, you know? But if there's a new $20 IEMs that's coming out in the future, I'll probably review it because they're cheap. Other than that, well, there's KZ stuff, I guess, but I just don't want to give money to KZ, so that's my own opinion. If you like KZ, that more power to you. This is my own opinion. Apparently, hating on KZ is kind of, you can hate people hating KZ now, apparently. But yeah, that's my opinion. That's my own preference. So I'm sorry I'm not reviewing KZ stuff, even though I'm really interested in them. But if you're interested in other future reviews, leave a like and subscribe. See you guys on next video. Bye bye.